Dear plant lovers, welcome to Folia Fantasia at SCBD Habitat Zoo in Jakarta, Indonesia. Folia Fantasia is a unique plant show created by a small group of passionate plant businesses in Indonesia. Unlike the traditional booth systems with plants laid out on tables, Folia Fantasia styles the plants freely and creatively to inspire gardens and growing spaces. Before we get started, I would like to introduce the space. Located at the heart of the financial district in Jakarta, SCBD Habitat is a brand new city zoo in Jakarta that brings animals and naturescape close to the urbanites. Founder, Keo, is passionate about animals and human-animal interaction. While some of you may irk at the concept of animals trapped in cages, note that these animals are highly domesticated and receive world-class care. Visitors are encouraged to physically interact with these animals. The topic of animal welfare and zoos are complicated, and this is not the right channel for it. But I am extremely happy to see Keo achieve the impossible, and from what I can see, people who visit here cherish their time with the animals, and the park itself create much needed greenery in a dense urban center. Alright, let's get on to Folia Fantasia.
So here is the bazaar area for the plants. We're going to take a quick look around here. There seems to be a mixed bag, but I see mostly Aroids from where I am now. So as explained that they were trying to do something that is landscape, something that's curated. So while there are a few booths, a few shops here, all the plants are sort of scattered around based on style rather than based on booth. Because when you travel to a lot of these shows, you basically go booth to booth. It's more like a commercial setting. So here they're just doing something that is a little bit more conceptual visually. And I think it's quite a wonderful collaboration. This booth is actually quite well put together. In fact, all of the booths here that you see are going to be displayed really, really beautifully. I'm not going to comment much on the styling. Maybe I'll just do a quick round because I really am more focused on the individual plants. Where possible, I will show you some of the design features, but we are here mostly to see the plants and how well they're grown and things like that. Monstera light line. This is quite beautiful. There's another one over here. The price is still quite expensive, but I really love, if you see the texture on the leaves, you see that the light color and the dark color part of the leaf, there's a protrusion. They're not even, so it's quite fascinating. You can see that from here as well. The leaves are not even, there's a texture to it. This is quite beautiful, the Monstera Milky White Mint for 20 million Indonesian rupiah. And there's another one in the back, it says it's just a white mint. I would not be able to tell these apart, to be honest. And even that, I would not be able to tell them apart. That these three just look like the same plant, but I'm not sure if they are. There's so many new mutations lately. More variegated monsteras here. Feel free to pause the screen and zoom in if you want to see any particular one. I'm just gonna point out the ones that called out to me, such as this one here. This is actually one of the prettier white lava that I've seen so far. Look at that. It's stunning, and there's like a new leaf coming along the way. Oh, this is gorgeous, but for 32 million, I'll hold out for a little bit longer. This is still way too much. And a lot of these masterpieces, and based on our interview at Floy, feel free to check out that video. Didi from Ruang Tanam Jakarta mentioned that there is an Indonesian version of the Monstera masterpiece. And this one here is the Monstera Deliciosa Ocean Contorted, 30 million. So this might be one that they call the Indonesian Monstera masterpiece. But they look pretty similar if you ask me, but they look actually really beautiful here in this display. This is more of that Monstera Milky White Mint, in case you wanted to see what the others look like. But I'm actually very interested to show you these. This is one that I filmed in a China plant show. Apparently this is called Monstera Deliciosa Aurea Meltaway, 18 million. And the one in China looks a little bit bigger and slightly nicer. Not to say that this is not nice, but a lot of you guys commented that that green that I couldn't find a name for, that one is a chartreuse green variegation. So I'm glad to see it here in Indonesia. This is the second time I've seen this plant. This is the Deliciosa Sphinx Full Mint, 25 million. We did cover this also in the Floyd episode. Feel free to check out that episode. I think this is a much better specimen, maybe a better representation of the Sphinx. Let me show you this leaf too. So I guess the new leaf will harden into that eventually. Now I've been editing some videos with a large form of the tattoo. They have really, really nice pronounced underside. I don't know if this one does, but maybe it only exhibit that in its mature form. But this is one that is really beautiful when it's like dramatic, big, with all this like texture on the leaves. They can be really, really stunning. That there is funny. It says Monstera deliciosa super zombie, 40 million. This here is the centerpiece. So I don't know what plants deserve such a centerpiece, but we're gonna take a quick look. This is the Monstera Sphinx full mint, it says. 20 million, there it is. And there's quite a lot of like very minty, very similar creamy type Monsteras. Maybe that is a trend, the Monstera Milky White Mint, 10 million. Actually, this is not the bad price at all for this. And there's a Monstera Medusa. This is 55 million. We saw one that was 70 million that has less curls on it. So this is actually quite interesting. You know what, if you ask me though, I almost prefer the Monstera Medusa to be an all green and curly plant, because I feel like the variegation really does take away from the beautiful form that you can have. And this one, it says, is the Monstera deliciosa crossed with Borzigiana, which is really mind-blowing. And of course, you can probably hybridize the two. This is 15 million. And this one is a Monstera deliciosa double platinum, 8 million. I'm seeing a lot of these for the first time today. That one, there's a yellow tiger, 15 million. It looks to me just like the Monstera Yellow Marilyn, if you ask me. But yeah, let me zoom out and show you that. It's quite wonderful actually to hang out and be here for a bit and hang out with some of the sellers, seeing what's up, and also seeing some of the people interact with these rare plants for the first time. A lot of people are probably very shocked by the price. So Can You Agro, they are actually made these out of recycled dashboard, like car dashboard. So these are recycled plastics. We did visit some of their pots before in a previous show, but it's quite nice. These square pots with a lot of like these holes in them. This is quite wonderful. And apparently they also have like Cocoa sphagnum moss. And here there's a Monstera Burle Mars Flame, 250,000 Indonesian rupiah. Oh my gosh, I'm obsessed with this plant. I don't remember the name of the species, so I'm gonna have to ask Icha about this. It's either the dinner plate fig or it's something else entirely. But their leaves are massive, they're beautiful, and they do flower somehow in the middle from down there. The flowers actually look beautiful when they're in full glory. But I actually really love this plant, but it is massive and I don't have the room for this in my house. But this is a wonderful one for the garden. But you do have to maintain it because for these kinds of figs, usually a lot of dead leaves will fall on it. So you'll have a lot of like dead leaf matter on the surface, but it is otherwise a beautiful, beautiful leaf fig. This is a Ridley silvery dwarf. It's what was just sold, but look how tiny is my pinky hand for comparison. Super teeny tiny. It's cute. This is apparently the mature size, and I'll show you with my hand in comparison. Bam! This is what it grows into. This is super funny, and I like that it's grown upright too in this one. And then look at the shield fronds. They act like a trunk. Look at these teeny tiny fronds. They're just like emerging here. Super cute. There's some beautiful platyceriums here. This one here is 70 million. Look at that. Oh my gosh. But it is quite beautiful. And it's probably another dwarf form. Maybe dwarf forms are sort of the trending form for platyceriums. That's really cute here. Look at that middle part there. They're spitting out a new frond. I really love the growth pattern of the platycerium with the shield frond, full tall frond taking turns coming out. It's really, really quite organic. Look at that. That's really beautiful. This is a cute fern. It's got Weena written all over it. And that one too. This is a very peculiar fern. My gosh, I don't know the names, but they're very, very advanced with the ferns. This is a variegated lemon. Look at that. There's a leaf and that's a lemon. I wonder if the fruits are variegated as well. It's probably, usually for plants that are variegated, the fruits are variegated as well. Oh wow. And the thing with these variegated lemon plants, the leaves look extremely fake. I've seen them in a few places. They look like fake plastic plants. So this is Ascot Garden, and this is a Amorphophallus, beautiful. And behind here, this is a plant. It's a Phalanthus, if I'm not wrong. The name is going to be on the screen. I made a short of this at Fairchilds, and I also saw this at Philippines in Mindanao, and it grows into a small tree. And these leaves are just really, really quite interesting, quite a conversation starter. This here is quite beautiful. It's perched on this pot here. And I don't know what this is, but the leaves are quite beautiful and the flowers are also quite stunning. If you look at that, that makes such a beautiful perch plant. This is Tujuan Bumi. Look at their wonderful display here. I love this like stools and this like simple concrete and this like steel table. So they are more focused on landscaping these days, but they have all these peculiar plants. A lot of them are caduciforms, desert plants. I don't know half of the names of these, but I'm going to quickly show you what they look like from here. They're actually very, very beautiful, but I don't think I'll be able to take care of them because they're actually very precious. A lot of them are special need plants. And this one, if I'm not wrong, is a Decaria madagascariensis, but I could be very wrong. No, that's not what it is. Sorry, this is something else entirely. This is actually very difficult to grow. They're very expensive plant. I'm gonna insert the name on the screen. I came across this in Taiwan, if I'm not wrong. And of course, they're cute little Stephanias here with the little bulbs and round leaves. A lot of us still struggle with the care tips for this. Even I myself, I have a video on bringing one back from dormancy, and I try to propagate it. You can actually propagate in water, but it is still pretty challenging plant. Now tucked away all the way in the back, this is where it gets really fun. There's a lot of plants that we can actually afford. This one here is a Monstera deliciosa compacta dwarf for 1 million. As you can see, the leaves fenestrate at such a young age, at such a small size. And then these are all like Borsigianas. It's 300,000 for the Borsigianas. I don't know if they're all the same price, but you can choose the variegation that you want now that they are readily available everywhere. Monstera Thai constellations, these are 400,000 each. And I don't know why, maybe it's the environment here, or is it just me? But for me, my Thai constellation put out a new leaf every 9 months. It's one of the slowest growing monsteras. So comment down below. I know that you guys in Europe, in the US and other countries have really good luck growing the Monstera Thai constellations. For me, the elbows grow fine, but then these guys, they really do take their time. And I've grown 2 of them and both of them are exactly like that. So I don't know what's up with that. And this is a Philodendron Pink Princess Galaxy. This is only 300,000 now. This used to cost maybe 100 times more at some point. So now these are very affordable. Amazing. And actually really do love these pink plants nowadays. I've been mixing my green wall with the pink variegated plants next to the yellow variegated and the orange, and it creates such a beautiful palette of colors when they're together. Speaking of that combination, this is what it kind of looks like: greens, pinks, and creams. So I'm quite into this kind of color combination lately. And these are Alocasia frydek, and I know that they are yesterday's plant, but I still haven't gotten my hands on one of these yet. They're actually really, really beautiful. The variegation is quite nice and not the hardest allocation to take care of. I know that a lot of you guys have success growing them. So these are the baby ones. And it's interesting to see that in this fair, there's not that many anthuriums, but this one stood up to me. This is probably the luxuriance, if I'm not wrong. Beautiful ribbing, but they're not the easiest in my opinion. And the Veitchia is also not so easy. I don't know if this is actually the Delta Force, but it's probably it. But there's so many anthuriums that's triangular shape these days. The only way that you can be sure that it's a Delta Force if it's the original clone, which most of us cannot afford, or it's a tissue culture. That's another possibility. So I spun this and apparently I got a free plant, so I don't know what I'm getting. Yay, so I got this plant. And this is dari siap nanam ya?
Siap nanam dan plant bros.
Dan plant bros. Here there's a tank of plants and I really love watching tanks at the plant shows. If I have a big house, I would have like 20 of these going around, maybe in the living room, because plants are actually a lot happier there with the evap system, and they just grow so well and the lights illuminate them beautifully, and you know that they're just so happy in there. Yay, we've got some VIP viewing for this, thank you. Some variegated begonias here, some dark leaf, and here, and they actually look really beautiful like this. Look at the texture here. The color, the dark really breaks the line, and there's more variegation behind it. This is also quite beautiful. This is Portia crossed with Mutualist, 2.5 million. And it's got that like frilly edge or the anthurium. And that one is beautiful too, right in smack in the dark. Beautiful form. And this is of course the allocation Jacqueline, variegated. Cute. So I was explaining that this area is full of curated plants. They're like super VIP, super expensive plants. But this is basically a cafe that has a beautiful greenhouse right in the middle. And there's this wonderful seatings all around the cafe. There's some seatings upstairs on the balcony as well. So I implore you, if you're in the area, come check out this beautiful plant cafe. And it is worth mentioning that Kunzo actually styled or landscaped this space originally. So a lot of these are actually his work. You're looking at a basket of monstera. So this is from Dede. And his concept is to put different monstera cuttings into one pot. So there's all these different monsteras. They're gonna sprout different plants and just gonna like, I don't know, do their thing, I guess, together, which is really interesting, like a textured basket of monsteras. I mean, this is something that we do with our cheaper plants sometimes, with pothos and things like that, but it's just interesting to do it with something so rare. That one here, the Monstera Fantasy, it looks like a Monstera contorta, or I don't know, it looks like a masterpiece with a little bit of that tattoo look. I don't know, these days the Monstera mutations are really fetching quite a lot of money. This one's 150 million Indonesian rupiah. And this platycerium here seems to be one of the more hyped ones. It's called the Wilintiae Masayu. So it's pretty expensive and it's dwarf form if I'm not wrong. Philodendron var, no ID, by, I don't know, Cut & Co. And this is apparently very VIP. I don't see what's unique about it. Always very distorted. It looks like it's a dwarf form of something, and it is variegated, and it is also the texture is very, very interrupted. This here is the Anthurium Venom by Siap Nanam. That's what the new leaves look like. I think these days plant mutations are very, very priced. There's no price tag on this, but I have a feeling this is probably very, very expensive.
Thank you so much for watching this all the way to the very end. On your way out, please check to make sure you are subscribed to the channel, send this video a like, and leave a comment so we can win the YouTube algorithm together. I also want to say thank you to my Patreon and YouTube members for monthly support. Alright, I'll let you guys go this time for real. See you guys in the next one. Bye!